Hello, I'm Maureen Gaines. I'm editor of Wet News, or Water and Effluent Treatment News, as it's a correct title. We've just been listening to a session, a really interesting session on alliancing and how innovation is being driven into the water industry supply chain as a result of alliances. Here with me is Keith Wishart, who's Head of Technology and Innovation at 820, one of the most exciting alliances to come into the industry in recent years. It's the Alliance for Thames Water, and it's the one that everyone's looking at, going towards AMP6. Keith, how did you think that session went?
I thought it was really interesting, and there's quite sort of a range of different perspectives, obviously from the two other water companies and ourselves, but also I think some real kind of common themes, which I think is we are getting more innovative, we have to get more collaborative, and everything now is driven towards delivering better customer outcomes, so we know we've got to change the game in what we're doing that, and innovation and collaboration are absolutely key to that.
A lot has been said about innovation and the AMP cycles and alliancing this morning. What exactly is driving it as we're moving to AMP6 compared with previous AMP cycles? Is it the regulator, or is it the water companies themselves? Or
I think there's a mixture of things. I think one is there is obviously a clear regulatory driver to change the ways of doing, and that's absolutely right. But I think also there's changes in the market and there's changes in people's expectations, consumers have radically different expectations as to what they expect from all the services, whether it's electricity, gas, retail, or indeed water, and we're seeing those effects come in. So the market and the industry has got to react and adapt to that.
So, you were saying during your session that 820, which is still very much in its infancy, it hasn't been a bed of roses. You've got 8 partners involved there. Tell us some of the problems that you've
Well, I don't know if they're problems. I think they're the challenges that we've got to address, because you've got 8 very, very different organisations. I mean, take my home organisation, IBM. This is a complete step change in terms of what we're doing, in terms of our role in the water industry, and the other organisations, you've got construction firms, you've got experienced specialist engineers, and what we're trying to achieve is something that is greater than the individual sum of the parts. So something that couldn't just be invented by Veolia, couldn't just be innovated by IBM, couldn't just be delivered by Costain, something that only comes about from these partners coming together. And the nature is it is uncomfortable, because we're used to our own organisations, and we're used to the way we do things, and we can't do that. Because actually what we've got to do is something different that is different from each individual organisation that will be an 820 way of working, and that's the real challenge that we're trying to overcome.
One of the other key points that was coming out as well during questions was getting collaboration and innovation down the supply chain.
Yes.
It's all happening at tier 1 level at the moment. What is your thoughts on that?
So, in 820, we were really addressing this with quite a strong focus through our procurement and our supply. I was going to say supply chain, that's actually definitely not the right word for what we're trying to do. We're thinking of it as a supply community, and we recognise exactly those problems. It's been traditional kind of top-down frameworks that really only kind of big organisations can kind of sign up to and compete in, and we know that innovation comes from small companies. The reason you start up a small company is because you've been thwarted somewhere, because you've had a problem, so you take that aside, you create the innovation, you get around that. So in my mind I see it as it's like motorway that's blocked with these great big kind of juggernauts just around it, but you've got these little smart cars that we know are down there. How are we getting them out? How are we fast forwarding them down the hard shoulder? And our view is to think of it more as a community of ideas, community of practices, great opportunity for using lots of types of social business tools, I think, in that to establish that communication, and that's really the way that we're addressing that problem.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome.